And Bonds hits one high. It's a deep. It is out of here. 7:56. Bonds stands alone.
17 seconds from Game 7 or from championship number 6. Jordan open. Chicago with the lead.
Washington outside left. Roethlisberger has time. Throws to the back of the end zone, and it is caught for a touchdown by Holmes.
A minute remaining. And they're putting Curry in the pick and roll, trying to get him on Irving. Irving and Curry, one-on-one. Irving puts it up. It's good. Kyrie Irving from downtown.
We're sending it in, Jerome. That's for damn sure.
Yes. What is up, everybody, and welcome to Taproom Sports Podcast. I am your host, Jordan, Stacks on Stacks, lads. Joined with my man, Mr. Big Ball and Ben Larson.
Sir.
Congratulations to us all for getting through that Sunday night game.
Yikes.
We'll be getting to that soon. But how you doing tonight, Ben?
I'm doing well, man. End of a good weekend. Got to have some class yesterday. Went to I think it was called what was it? Foodie Fest out here in San Mateo.
Oh yeah, I saw you were eating some like, what was that? Bone marrow?
Oh yeah, 4 different types of bone marrow. It was on point. Had some couple different types of lobster. It was just
look at you,
wonderful.
Mr. Bougie over here.
Damn straight. Ended it with a churro sundae.
I saw that, dude. That looked good too.
Hell yeah. How you doing?
I'm doing all right, man. I'm doing good, man. Other than the Cardinals losing today, but
yeah, my Niners lost, so
yeah. What's new? It's been a wild NFL season, which we're gonna run through a lot of these games coming down here, but man, college football season continues to do well for me.
Yep.
I came big on the Sunday night game. I had an unhealthy number of units on that Sunday night game, so it could have swayed a totally different way, but it went my way. But man, what a dog shit game! But I'm stoked to be here, man.
It was
very excited. Got some 2 good beers that I'm really excited to be sipping on.
Oh yeah,
and I haven't sipped a beer since last night, so
there we go, first of the day.
And look at this color, Ben.
Ooh, that's a Jordan specialty right there.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, for everyone who doesn't know, we like to incorporate beer into our podcast. We really wanted this to be kind of like we were sitting at a bar drinking beer and talking sports. And for the last over 2 years now, we can say that we have definitely incorporated that into the podcast. So we really want to kind of just bring those beers to you, let you know what you should go out there to drink, what you shouldn't. But at the same time, remember that we all have different tastes. Some beers are going to be good for others. Some beers are going to be, kind of shitty for others. So, I've definitely had my pour out beer. That's okay too. And definitely have a beer that's a, 5 out of 5. And we want to get that out to you. We want you to go out there, try those beers, whether you're at the brewery, local bottle shop, just kind of support those brewers and really just get into the beer game because it's always changing and always growing. So if you do want to do that, make sure to go to Devour.com, download the Devour app, use promo code Taproom when signing up, and you can get $10 off your first purchase of $25 and more. And in some cases, that's 2 free beers. Super easy. App is really easy to use, and those beers are just delivered straight to your doorstep.
Straight to it, dude. Don't even have to move.
Exactly. So we're gonna drink 2 beers. We're gonna first tell about our first beer, and then after football we'll go to beer number 2.
Yeah.
What are you drinking?
My first one is so I've drinking a couple sours from this company. It's a Skygazer Brewing Company. They're out of Connecticut. And this is called it's part of the Soul Crusher series. So the Soul Crusher series is like a series of different sours. Last one I did was like a blue raspberry-ish one. This one is sour ale with apricot and plum, Ben.
Oh, okay.
I've never had a sour or any kind of beer with a plum
Yeah.
So I'm very excited for this one. Cracked it open first. I had to, dude.
Yeah. Couldn't wait, huh?
Yo, which one of you? I know you got some special beers on deck. What are you sipping on?
Yeah, I'm going to start with this one, which is really a kind of for the time of year, and then I'm going to go to a dessert beer afterwards. And really excited about that dessert beer. So we'll see if it lives up to its hype. But I'm going with Smogtoberfest, and this is from Smog City Brewing Company. They are out of Torrance, California, so down south, from me and down in Southern California. So it's a festival lager made for the German Oktoberfest. And this is coming in at 5.5%. So it's an amber. It's it's going to be malty, like you get with your your Oktoberfest beer. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm a huge Oktoberfest fan.
When's like the official Oktoberfest, by the way?
I don't know. The second week in October, I want to say.
Okay.
So
I know in like
it's still
Germany,
coming
it's like a whole fucking month, right?
up. It's a week in Germany, yeah.
Because they're doing it. They started in September, don't they, for Oktoberfest in Germany?
I don't know.
Because I follow someone on Instagram and he was in Germany and he was like at an Oktoberfest event. I mean, at least it looked like it. Everyone was dressed up in like those fucking outfits and shit.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. September 17th to October 30th.
Damn.
Sorry, October 3rd. October 3rd.
Oh, I was like, damn, that's a long ass festival season, dude.
2 weeks.
That's crazy. That's probably, dude, that's something I want to do eventually, man.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. There's a couple, I mean, there's you'll get your local, fests here, but there's nothing like going to Germany for that.
Yep.
Incredible.
Nice, man. Well, I'm excited to hear about that beer.
Yep.
Excited to drink this beer. Wish I could drink yours too, but I can't.
It's okay.
But let's talk about some football, Ben.
Yeah.
So another crazy week of NFL. It's been a wild season, and really like we'll talk about the worst game since it's the one we're coming off of, and that was a Sunday night game.
Yeah.
Niners closed about -1, -1.5, depending on where you shop. Denver +1, obviously. Over under was 45. I mean, the total like was never. If you had the under, you were like sitting back, feeling real good about yourself about
Easy
the entire
the whole game. Yeah.
If you were on either side though, we were sweating, dude. Whether you had the Broncos or the Niners, we were sweating it down to the wire.
Yep.
I mean, this was just an atrocious game, and I think the first thing that stands out is Russell Wilson, and I talked about this in the offseason, and I've been talking about it with Irvin, that he didn't look right for like the last year and a half. Now he has no excuses, and again, he has not looked good really at any point this season.
No.
And Denver's offense has really struggled. I mean, they played 3 full games. They only have 3 touchdowns in 3 games, Ben.
Yep. Yeah.
Well,
total of 261 yards today, which is not.
Yeah, I mean, yards were hard. These were 2 good defenses.
Absolutely.
But, Denver, they just like, it just felt like they were so inept on offense for a majority of the game. Like when the Niners went up 10-5, I was like, dude, this game's probably over because Denver hasn't shown any ability to score at all in this game. They did have a nice drive there at the end, and Jimmy G obviously made a couple turnovers. The biggest thing for the Niners to me, and I thought the Niners probably would have won this game had Trent Williams not got hurt. Because that's really what changed the game. And once Trent Williams went out, I mean, Denver was just getting relentless pressure on Jimmy Garoppolo. And then obviously turnovers. Niners have 2 fumbles and an interception. Denver doesn't turn the ball over. So they end up winning 11-10. One of the ugliest games of all time. I mean, what was you're a Niner fan, so you're watching this game from kind of a different lens perspective. What was your takeaway on this game?
It was a little. It was a little bit of a question mark for me because of Jimmy G and, what we've seen Jimmy G do in the past. And, giving a little bit of leeway because Jimmy hasn't gotten the practice and the snaps that he would have previously had. Given if he was given the starting position over summer, and he had that time, I think this would have been a completely different game. I think, San Francisco would have gone through and, kind of put at least a decent amount of more offensive pressure there, and you would have seen better connections with Jimmy and his receiving core. But, at the end of the day, we still only put up 10 points. Jimmy does not look smart on the field.
That interception you threw was awful, dude.
The interception was awful. You have to have, understanding of where you are on that safety.
Well, honestly, that safety was a good thing, because if he doesn't step out of bounds, that's a pick six.
Yeah. Well, but I mean, I think if he doesn't take a step back, he doesn't try to force that ball like he did, but he knew he was going out of bounds because he did that kind of jump throw. So, I think if he had a better understanding of where he was, he would have either made a different pass or thrown it away. And that pick six wouldn't have happened either. But, it was a tough loss in a game that they should have won. Russ does Russ things against San Francisco and, comes up with a W, and it was a very atrocious W, but
yeah. I was
you get a win.
I was thinking at the end, Ben, I was like, you know what? Like, what the conversation is going to be a little different because he did have that final drive. If he didn't have that final drive, oh my God, dude, it would have been nasty for the whole entire week.
Yep.
I mean, what's your confidence level of both these teams going forward? Because, I've been saying, the Niners have a Super Bowl roster all offseason, and it was really their quarterback play, whether it was Trey Lance or Jimmy G in there. Like, that was the big question mark. Like, with Lance, we don't know what we're going to get. Obviously, he's hurt. We're not going to see that now. Yeah. And then with Jimmy G, we know his ceiling. We know what he's limited to. We know what he's good and what he's not good at. Yeah. And it kind of limits a team, but he has been to 2 NFC championships. He's been to a Super Bowl. So, we know what this team can look like. As far as Denver is concerned, I don't think this is a good team at all. Like, no, I don't know if their defense is pretty solid, dude. I'll give them that. They have a top 8 defense in the league, but offensively, I mean, they might be one of the worst offensive teams in the league.
Yeah,
and I'm saying that nicely. I'm putting it very nicely. Like, dude, they look worse on offense than the Bears do.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think Denver has a one up because Herbert gets hurt, and that they can kind of be number 2 in that division and stay number 2 in that division, as long as Herbert's out. I know he played today, but he did not look good. No. And the Raiders are raiding right now. So
the Raiders are raiding.
So I think they can probably still take number 2 in this division. Now, is that going to be enough to get a wild card position? I don't think so. With what we see happening in the AFC, it's the East. With the Bills and the Dolphins, that's going to take a spot there. If you look at,
you have the Browns, you have the Ravens.
Yeah. Bengals, Browns, and Ravens. One of them's going to take a spot there. Who knows what Jacksonville's doing?
Jacksonville's for real. We're going to get to them later, but they're for real.
Yeah. Colts and Jags. I think one of them takes a spot. Tennessee could be a possibility there. So, I don't know if second in this division with the way that they're playing is going to be good enough. And I know it's way early, and Russ needs to get that connections with, an offense that can be playoff potential.
Yeah.
But as the season has, gets longer, Russ is going to get more tired. And we've seen that as be kind of a progressive downfall these last couple of years.
Yeah, the crazy thing about the Broncos too is that, like, they have Javonte Williams. He's averaging over 5.5 yards per carry, and like, they refuse to give him the ball. Mm-hmm. Like, he's only touching the ball 15 times a game. Like, what? That's probably arguably your best offensive player. Why is he only touching the ball 15 times a game?
Yeah.
Nathaniel Hackett is in over his head. I saw someone tweet out, they were like, at halftime, they were like, man, at half, the Broncos should fire Nathaniel Hackett and go give Sean Payton a blank check.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, dude, that honestly might be the biggest difference of the Broncos. That might be why they look the way they look, is because of Nathaniel Hackett.
All those players adore him. You know,
They're
we
gonna
even
say
saw
the right
Russ.
things, dude. They're not gonna come out
Yeah.
and publicly be like, "Yeah, fuck this guy."
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
All right, let's move on to the next game. We got the Ravens and the against the Patriots. This was an interesting game too because both these head coaches, John Harbaugh and Bill Belichick, really good against the spread coming off losses. Baltimore was a 2.5 point favorite on the road at New England. The total was 45.5. Again, if you had the over, you were feeling real good about this one. Baltimore wins 37-26, so they cover the 2.5. What's your thoughts on this game?
I mean, Lamar's going to be signing a big check. You know, he looked great again today. You know, that interception is tough, but really the big thing on this game is Mac Jones. How bad is that ankle?
Yep.
Because if it is, that's a big worry for me. I know you drafted that.
Bailey
Was
Zappi.
it? Yeah. You know, so you have another young kid back there, but are they going to go to him this early? Or are they going to, you know, go, you know, their number 2 QB here? So, you know, it's not looking so good for the Patriots like they started off, you know, last year. But I mean, again, it's a long season, but you're in a tough division with Buffalo and Miami, how they're both playing. So,
yeah, I mean, New England might as well pack the season though. I don't think they're good enough to compete with the Buffaloes or the Miami Dolphins of the world. The one thing that could be kind of a blessing in disguise is that Buffalo is like severely banged up right now, and it's only the 3rd week of the season.
Yeah.
In a game we're going to get to next. But I agree with you. I think, you know, I had Baltimore winning the AFC North coming into the year.
Mhm.
Their defense has been a big question mark, especially their secondary.
Yeah.
They did have 3 interceptions today, but you know, New England's offense isn't like it's not high powered offense, and Mac Jones still threw for 321 yards. I mean, New England moved the ball pretty well.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be something that Baltimore has to shore up that defense.
They really do.
Like if they don't shore up that defense, it could be trouble with them because, you know, the Browns have looked pretty decent with Jacoby Brissett back there, and then if they go into Week 11, Ben, and they're like 7-4, 6-5, they have a real possibility of winning that division with Deshaun Watson coming back.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna. I think it's still going to be tough with how Baltimore's going to be, you know, playing through. You know, looking at Baltimore's schedule, it's not. They're going to get a big kind of, you know, step up. I think next week is going to be their hardest game against the Bills. But like you said, the Bills are, you know, banged up right now. But then they go, you know, and play the Giants, the Browns, the Bengals, you know, the Bucks, the Saints, the Panthers, the Jags, the Broncos, the Steelers. I mean, they don't have a tough schedule, you know, probably with the Bucks being their hardest one there. And, you know, if you get a big lead coming in, that's going to be hard to catch.
Yep.
It's going to be very hard to catch. So I think Baltimore ultimately, you know, minus a huge injury, I think they take this division.
Yep.
Even though we're only through week 3.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. All right, let's move into the next game. We got Buffalo at Miami. Buffalo closed about -4, -4.5 point favorite, depending on what book you shop at. The total was 54.5. This is a game I thought the over was going to be pretty easy. I actually didn't bet this game. Thank God I didn't.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have taken Buffalo if I were to take it. It was Miami or nothing for me.
But
But
at what, -6?
yeah, it opened -6. But then when all the injuries, the final injury report came out, and Micah Hyde was out, Poyer was out, Ed Oliver was out. I mean, Buffalo was missing. They were missing their right tackle. They were missing a ton of guys, dude. Which is, you know, kind of why, like, you know, I don't want to like say that, you know, Miami beat Buffalo. That's a good win, right, at home.
Yeah.
But given Buffalo's injuries, I didn't think Miami was gonna like cruise to a victory by any stretch of the imagination, but only putting up 21 points, and I mean they didn't really move the ball like
No, they didn't.
a ton. You know what I mean? They only had how many yards total did they have?
212.
Yeah, 212 yards. I mean, they barely
compared
even
to 500 that Buffalo had.
dude.
Buffalo just took some dumb penalties at the wrong time.
Yep.
And I think that
at
was the
goal line.
biggest.
2 for 4 in the red zone. That's what killed them, dude.
Yep, I think that was the biggest. The biggest hit there. Some really dumb penalties, and their turnover, that fumble was was definitely a big thing. I mean, they doubled the time of possession. They 2.5 times their total yards. It was everything. Looking at this, if I was just looking at the box score and
Buffalo
like
won
the
by
team
like
stacks,
20.
yeah, exactly, 31-15 on first downs. 90 plays to 39. Total yards, would we have 497 to 212?
Yeah, I mean they doubled them in yardage.
Yeah.
It's the turnovers that just killed them. Josh Allen, he had 2 touchdowns, but they had that fumble, which really cost them.
Yeah.
And in the red zone, they had that goal line stop, 4th and 2, 4th and goal at the 2-yard line, and Josh Allen underthrew the receiver. He actually got X-rays on his hand, his throwing hand. Buffalo's saying right now that it looks okay, that nothing is wrong. So
yeah,
for their sake, hopefully that's the case, because if they don't have Josh Allen, I mean, you could pack their season up, dude.
No, absolutely.
It could get absolutely nasty. But one thing Buffalo does have to do, they got to get better at rushing the football.
Oh, they do.
Because really, their rushing attack is Josh Allen.
Yeah. Yeah.
What were you going to say, Ben?
They don't give the opportunity to Singletary to run the ball. I mean, I know the Singletary hasn't been
Moss and Singletary,
out.
13 carries combined. You added McKenzie and Cook, and they only had 15 carries. Josh Allen had 8 carries. I mean, they only ran the ball 23 times. Threw it 63 times.
Yeah.
Ken Dorsey fucking going crazy. Did you see that video?
Oh, yeah, that was
Ken
hilarious.
Dorsey throwing shit.
Well, yeah, I mean, you got to either get out of bounds, or you got to, you had 11 seconds left.
Yep.
You got to be able to spike that ball.
Yep.
But
I was.
So we saw Tua get hit into the second quarter.
Yep.
Looks like a concussion. They're saying it was neck injuries. He comes back and plays the second half. You now have the NFL Players Association looking into the concussion protocol.
Yep. Yeah.
They've got a short week, playing again on Thursday. Do we think there's going to be injury, concussion issues with Tua?
I mean, dude, it looked like he was knocked the fuck out.
Yeah.
Like
the way he wobbled.
He like stood up and almost fell right back down. I thought for sure he was out for the game at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely going to be something that's going to be looked at, and definitely the concussion protocols are going to be looked at for sure, and rightfully so. Who do they play on Thursday night?
Cincinnati.
In Cincy?
Week 4. In Cincy, yeah.
It's going to be a tough game, man.
It is.
Especially because, I mean, I'm not sure what to make of Miami, dude. Like, I don't know what kind of team this is. I feel like they have 2 W's that could very well be 2 L's.
Yeah, but they got the W's. That's the thing.
But that's not sustainable over a course of a season. Like, at some point, those 50-50 games they're gonna balance each other themselves out.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, dude, like you said, you look at the box score of that game, and you would assume that Buffalo won that game. But football is crazy, man, especially the NFL.
Yep.
All right, let's move on to the next game. We got the Saints. They were at Carolina. The Saints closed about -1. Carolina wins outright 22-14. The total was 40.5. It's another one that fell under. This was a crazy game, man. Well, not crazy, but the Saints they're totally underwhelming, dude. Their offense does not look good at all. Jameis Winston, 2 more interceptions today. He now has 5 interceptions on the season. They just can't get anything going.
Kamara comes back, drops the ball.
Yep.
Literally drops the ball.
It's just I'm not sure what to make of this New Orleans Saints team, but Dennis Allen, I don't think, I didn't think he was a great head coach with the Raiders. I thought he's a good defensive coordinator, but there's some guys that are just not meant to be head coaches, and I think he may be one of those guys because this team has way too much talent to be losing a 20-10 game to Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay could like barely move the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Turnovers cost them there. Turnovers cost them again. I mean, the real Jameis Winston is standing up, dude. What's your thoughts on this game and these two teams here?
Well, to be honest, I'm surprised New England got 14 points. Those two fourth quarter, kind of garbage time touchdowns. Was really kind of the big thing here. I'm worried for the New Orleans Saints going from Drew Brees, even old Drew Brees, to Winston here, and
Jameis looked good last year though. They were 5-0 with him.
Yeah, against teams who were not.
They beat Tampa.
They did beat Tampa.
They beat the Packers.
We were talking about that being, at least a lot of time last year. There were a lot of those kind of look over games where they really shouldn't have won, and they won. Then they won week 1 versus the Packers after a really crazy offseason last year.
They had to play that game in Jacksonville.
Yeah,
it's not like New Orleans didn't have any issues going on. I mean, they couldn't even play in their home stadium because of a hurricane.
Yeah,
they go play that game in Jacksonville, end up winning. I mean, the biggest difference in these teams this year and last year is that Sean Payton's not there.
Yeah,
that's the only difference. And the
that's
teams look. It's a huge difference, and it's proven itself on the field. Like they're 1-2. And they could have been 0-3. They should have probably lost that game to Atlanta.
Yeah.
So they got to get their shit together, man. I don't know if they will because, like I said, I don't have any faith in Dennis Allen at this point.
No. And, the good thing is they got, two teams who are struggling coming up next in the Vikings and Seahawks. So.
Yep. So let's talk about one of those teams right here. Let's talk about the Lions. They were at Minnesota. Vikings closed -6.5 pretty much everywhere, -6. Mm-hmm. Total was 51.5. The total hits over, and then the Lions cover the 6.5 or the 6, whichever one you got.
Yeah.
Vikings, man, this is a team that a lot of people were high on. They thought they were going to win the NFC North. They lay a total dud last Monday in Philadelphia, but I thought they did. I thought they played well in the second half. They just couldn't get any points because the Kirk Cousins curse is real in primetime.
Yep.
But today, once again, dude, they were really good in the second half, especially the fourth quarter, and were able to pull out this W. But it was a really close game. What's your thoughts on these two teams here in this game?
Well, I think this was not the Detroit Lions we're used to seeing. We're used to seeing the Detroit Lions play for a full game, and they definitely did not play in the fourth quarter here. Going up 24-14, and then allowing 2 touchdowns there in the fourth quarter was not the ride or die, give your every last ounce of blood until that last whistle blows in the Detroit Lions that we were seeing. It was 14-0, and I thought this game was over in the first half, and then Minnesota puts up 14 in the end of the second quarter. Then Detroit comes back, and they're like, okay, 24-14.
Yep.
They got it again. Nope, not at all. I'm surprised that Detroit didn't win this game.
Interesting little nugget here, Ben. The Minnesota Vikings have not allowed a point in the fourth quarter this year. Not a single
I did not know that. Did not know that at all.
Yep, so their defense stout in the fourth quarter.
Dalvin Cook going down, shoulder injury, could be major.
Yeah, but Madison's a really good backup.
Still not Dalvin Cook.
No, it's not, but he's probably one of the better backups in the league. Running backs are a dime a dozen now, man.
Of course. Who do I have on my fantasy team?
Dalvin Cook.
Dalvin Cook. There we go.
Sorry, I got Javonte Williams, and the Broncos don't like giving him the ball, so
yeah,
that's real fun. All right, let's move over to this next game. We got the Raiders at Tennessee. Raiders close -2 favorites. They lose outright.
Oh man,
they are now 0-3, the only winless team in the NFL. The over/under was 45.5. Unfortunately for you and I, we were both on the under.
Yep.
We lost it at the very last play, basically.
Yep.
What's your thoughts on this one? Besides the fact that the Raiders suck.
The Raiders suck, man. Raiders are gonna Raider. They should have won this game. I mean, I don't think Derrick Henry had that great of a game. Tannehill played better than normal. But this defense is just
Swiss cheese.
They can't win a game. Yeah, they cannot win a game. And your offense isn't going to be out of this world to win a game either. So,
well, when the Raiders, they had 4th and 15 on the last drive.
Yep. They throw it
40 yards.
Yeah.
And
I thought that was the dumbest play in the world, but hey, they made it.
Yeah, it was incredible.
Yep.
And then they get they have another 4th down at the goal line or in goal, and the Titans get called for defensive holding, so they get first down. I mean, everything kind of like was going the Raiders' way for them to like tie this game and put it into overtime, and they weren't able to do it. I mean, this is just a team that like is finding ways to lose, dude.
Yeah,
they're finding it, and eventually, like these, like I said, these are like 50-50 games. Eventually, they're gonna go their way. You know what I mean? But the Raiders got some real issues, man. Derek Carr
should not have been a 50-50 game. This should have been a Raiders win.
It should have, but you know that's why you play 60 minutes.
Yeah.
Derek Carr has missed a lot of throws this year. Darren Waller looked like shit.
Yeah.
This is I just don't know about this team.
Yeah, I think the lucky thing is that they do have it's going to be interesting how they play against the Broncos in division, next week. Then they've got the Chiefs, which I'm probably going to write that off as an L right now. Then you got the Texans, Saints, Jags, Colts. They should be able to go 2-2 during that stretch.
Well, I mean, there's no way they're going to make the playoffs, dude.
Yeah.
You could basically cancel the playoffs, dude. Only one team in the history of the NFL has gone 0-3 and made the playoffs.
Yeah.
And that's the 2008 Texans.
Yeah, but you can keep people out.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying they're going to, like, purposely lose every game, but, I mean, like, their season is basically over at this point.
Yeah, they should probably lose every game so he got a new QB.
Dude, I saw what people on Twitter, Raider fans, saying, like, oh, the Raiders should just trade Derek Carr to one of the teams like the Colts that need a quarterback or the Commanders, and then just tank the rest of the year and get a quarterback in the draft. Because, I mean, honestly, like, you bring in a new coach.
Why not?
You bring in a new coach, Josh McDaniels, and usually when you bring in a whole new regime, GM, coach, everything, like, you basically reset. But they didn't reset. They basically, like, kept Derek Carr, added Adams, and I don't think they're not getting their guys, right?
Yeah.
And I think this is like the perfect opportunity to say, like, okay, like, we need our guys in here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it will be interesting to see how the rest of the season plays out for the Raiders because, like I said, being 0-3, very difficult to make the playoffs. Like, very, very, very difficult.
Yeah.
Especially with all the teams they have ahead of them. And the Titans are not a good team. They're one of the worst teams in the league. So losing this game was bad. And the Titans, dude, they're missing their starting left tackle. I mean, dude, they had injuries out the wazoo, and they still win this game.
Yep.
Just unbelievable stuff, dude. Just a bad loss for the Raiders. 2 bad losses in a row.
Agreed.
3 bad losses in a row. But really, 2 really bad ones, dude.
Yeah.
All right, let's move over to this next game. We got the Bengals at the Jets. Bengals closed -6.5. Over the total was 46. The total goes under, and the Bengals cover the 6.5. This was a must win for the Bengals. And
Yeah.
for a moment in time in this game, I thought the Jets were actually going to be able to pull this off, but the Bengals pull it out. Oh, dude, it was like 14-6 in the Jets were driving. It was early in the game, and then Joe Flacco threw a fucking interception, and that was that.
I was gonna say, because it was 14-6, and it was 20-9, then it was 27-12.
Yeah, but there were
fourth quarter.
If they go and they tie it, you know, good chances that this was going to be a closer game, but unfortunately it wasn't. Bengals cover the 6.5. They're 1-2 on the season. Playoff hopes still alive. I like how we're talking about playoff hopes and we're only 3 weeks in. But what's your thoughts on this one?
I mean, this was I didn't care about this game at all. Jets are not. I don't think they're going to do anything with Flacco. He looked good last week, but I think that was, teams not having video on him and him playing out of his mind. Burrow has to come back in and play stronger. He played a little bit better today with the 3 touchdowns. His completion percentage wasn't that great, just under 66, but
he only got sacked twice though.
He did only get sacked twice, and that's the big thing. It's that offensive line needs to step up. They did today. I don't know how much longer they can do it though.
I mean, they spent a lot of money in the offseason on their offensive line, so
yeah. So you got to think Dolphins next week, Ravens the week after.
I mean, that Dolphins game at home, that's a winnable game right there. That's a game they should win.
Yeah, but that defense is going to get at Burrow.
Are they though? I mean, they're the Dolphins defense.
They held the Bills to 19 points. That's good.
It gave up like almost 500 yards.
But still, they held them points wise, and that's
dude. I think honestly, I think the Dolphins are gonna get shredded.
Offensively, the Bills, with their injuries, are still better than Cincinnati.
Well, I mean, Bills just couldn't score in the red zone, but I mean, if you play that game 10 times, the Bills probably win that game 9 times. Like everything as is. There's no way they're gonna miss a 4th and 2 wide open, 10 times. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's just so crazy. That's why football is crazy. Yeah. All right, let's move on to this next game. Kansas City at Indianapolis. This game closed about 5.5. Chiefs were favored at Indy. Total was 50.5. The total goes under, and the Colts cover and win outright as a dog. Yeah. This was one of my best bets. Did you have this as one of your best bets, the Chiefs?
I didn't have it as the best bet. I had actually had Kansas City minus 5.5?
5.5.
Yeah.
I had Colts plus 5.5. This was a game that I loved because it was a must-win game for Indy. I also wasn't stoked on what I saw from Kansas City on Thursday night against the Chargers. I thought they honestly should have lost that game. It took 2 overturned interceptions that, shouldn't have been overturned, if we're being completely honest, for them to really win that game. So I wasn't too high, and I thought that this was a spot where, Indy, good defense. They got some guys back. DeForest Buckner came back today. And then, Jonathan Taylor, I thought he was going to be able to run the ball. He did. He was able to run the ball.
Not great. 21 attempts for 71 yards. It's not great.
Yeah. I mean, it was hard-earned yards. And Matt Ryan, he wasn't very good all day, but he did what he had to do on that last drive to put points up. And this is another one of them. You look at the score, you look at the box score, and you're probably like Kansas City wins this game. But no, that's not how it worked out. Kansas City just kept letting the Colts hang in there and stay in there. They were 2 for 4 in the red zone, and that was really the difference in the game. I mean, honestly, so far 3 weeks into the season, Ben, the most important thing that I'm noticing is red zone efficiency. Teams that are good in the red zone are good. They're winning games. Teams that are not good in the red zone struggle.
Yeah.
You gotta score touchdowns.
Oh, and what surprised me is Kansas City got to Matt Ryan too. 5 sacks today, and he was still able to pull it out.
Yep. Because they kept letting them hang in there.
Yeah.
They weren't taking they weren't converting on their opportunities.
Yeah.
So they kept leaving them, letting them hang around, and then boom, last drive they Colts score.
Yep.
End up winning. And to be honest, going forward, like I'm not overly concerned about the Chiefs. Like they're not gonna win 17 games. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're gonna lose a few games here and there. At Indy, a must-win game for the Indianapolis Colts. Basically, like they could not go 0-3 or what is it? 0-2-1.
Yeah.
So I mean, it was to be like it was given. Like not given. Like I didn't think that they were like gonna win this game by like, oh my God, they're absolutely gonna win.
Yeah.
But they took care of business, and then that muff punt too by the Chiefs, that was a big turning point too.
Not as bad as the putt in the butt.
Oh yeah.
We didn't talk about that.
Mark Sanchez tweet out. Thank God. All right, let's talk about this next game. We had Houston at Chicago. Houston closed. This was a pick'em. This closes a pick'em.
Yeah.
What was your thoughts on this game?
I mean, neither of these quarterbacks look great. Mills or Fields.
The Bears closed -2.5. Sorry.
Okay. Just covered. Damn. But yeah, neither of them looked great. 2 interceptions apiece. I figured this was going to be a major over. What was what did it close at?
The total was 39.5.
Okay, so yeah, actually, yeah, I didn't know that because I was thinking it was going to be an under actually, just because these offenses aren't great. And that's right, it didn't. It was those last.
That pick
I
six.
guess it wasn't
dude.
that last 3 points, but yeah, yeah, I thought this was going to be a dud of a game. It was a dud of a game, but they ended up getting, 5 more points than I expected.
Yeah,
it was boring. I don't care about either of these teams.
Yeah, no.
This Herbert looks good.
This game was awful. Justin Fields does not look good at all.
No.
Davis Mills, he had his moments. I thought the Texans honestly should have won this game. I thought the Bears were lucky to get away with a W here. The Bears are not a good football team. No. I'll just put it at that.
8 for 17, 106 yards, 2 interceptions, no TDs.
And one of his interceptions was absolutely terrible.
Ran the ball for 47 yards on 8 attempts. Again, Khalil Herbert looks good.
Yeah, Khalil Herbert did look really good. Yeah. All right, let's move into this.
Also, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Cole Kmet should not be your leading receiver. No.
Dude, he's hella good, though.
But he shouldn't be your leading receiver. It took him
3 weeks to actually get him the football. That's the craziest part about it.
Yeah.
All right, let's move into this next game. We got the Eagles at the Washington Commanders. Eagles closed -6, -6.5, depending on where you got it. The total was 47.5. The total goes under. Eagles cover -6. Eagles only scored in 1 quarter. They scored all their points.
Quarter.
And like this was an interesting game for me because like I'm watching this game and like obviously the Eagles are a better team. Like we know this. Their defense looks phenomenal.
Yep.
However, I've had these questions about Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts, the numbers don't tell the whole story. He did not look that good in this game. There was 2 throws that one of them was a touchdown that he threw 2 yards behind A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown like plucked it away from the defender and put it in the end zone. And then he had another one where he underthrows his receiver, but Washington's defensive back, all he had to do was turn around and he catches the ball. But instead he's like facing the receiver and A.J. Brown just jumps over him and catches it.
Yep.
This was an interesting game because once again the Eagles couldn't move the ball in the second half.
Yeah.
Like Washington caught on to what they were doing and they were able to stop them. But that second quarter was the biggest difference in this game. And Washington offensively, because Philadelphia's defense is that good, like Washington couldn't even get a first down damn near in the first half. Like they were absolutely stopping them. But Philadelphia is going to be basically everybody's number 1 team tomorrow because they're 3-0. Everyone was high on them coming into the year. I'm still I think their defense is legit, dude. I think they have a top 3 defense in the league.
Mm-hmm.
They can absolutely run the ball, but I still am unsure of how they're going to, like, when it comes to a game where Jalen Hurts has to make plays to win a game. I just don't know if he can do that.
Yeah. Well, and I don't think we're really going to see that test until, it's definitely not within the next 3 weeks. They
got an easy schedule.
Yeah. I mean, probably until, do you even put it at the Colts? Maybe the Packers in week, what is that? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So week 10 Colts, week 11 Packers. Like, is that going to be? Oh my God, their schedule is so easy.
Yeah, they had a cake schedule, dude. That's part of the reason why everyone loved their over.
Yeah,
their defense is solid. I mean, they had, how many sacks did they have today? They had, what is that? 4, 5.5, 7,
9
sacks, dude.
Yeah, 58 yards.
9 sacks, dude.
Yep.
You get 9 sacks in a game, there's no way you're gonna lose.
No.
Unbelievable defensive performance by the Eagles. 9 sacks.
I mean, they've got the easy schedule. They're gonna win this division.
Oh,
especially with
if they don't win the division, there's issues.
Yeah, with the way that the Cowboys have kind of done.
The Commanders are trash. It's really, at this point, to me, it's going to be who gets fired first between Cliff Kingsbury and Ron Rivera.
Yeah.
One of those two is getting fired first.
Yeah.
All right, let's move into this next game. We had the Green Bay Packers at Tampa Bay. Packers closed +1, and they end up covering and winning outright. The total was 42.5, goes way under. This was another, just pathetic game. We obviously knew Tampa was going to struggle a little bit. They had no receivers. This just was an ugly game, dude. Tom Brady probably broke a few tablets there on the sideline.
Oh, yeah.
What was your thoughts on this one?
I mean, I'm not surprised with the way that it ended. Tampa Bay was just too banged up, and their whole receiving core, basically missing. We talked about this earlier. I think it was on Thursday. I just don't think Fournette is the answer, for that running game. And I think with Tom Brady, you're never really gonna have a running back be successful, because he just wants to throw the ball. And there's so much focus on throwing the ball there. So I think they need to really look elsewhere in this offense to create more options, so the defense doesn't know that this is just going to be a pass every time.
Well, I think offensively, I thought they were going to be a little bit worse than last year. Obviously, no Gronk, but their offensive line is pretty banged up.
Yep. Offensive line's banged up.
And they lost
wide receiving.
And they lost Marpet. He retired before the year. So, I mean, that's why I was a little down on Tampa Bay, to be honest. They get 2 shitty wins. I mean, they looked like the worst 2-0 team I've ever seen in my life, to be honest. I thought they could win this game, though, because Green Bay doesn't really play well in Florida. Like, we see all the time, they go down to Florida and lose.
Yeah. No
matter who they play. So I thought that, that could benefit Tampa. But, I mean, dude, Tampa just couldn't get anything going offensively, really, for the entire game until that very last drive. So, I mean, they needed that 2-point conversion. They had a bunch of miscommunication on it. It just looked ugly. It did not look like a Tom Brady-led team. They got to get healthy, dude, for them to be successful, because that defense is still good. I mean, they held the Packers to 14 points, and they turned the Packers over twice. If they had any sort of offensive output, they win that game.
Yeah.
But they were they were not good offensively, and thus they lost the game.
Yep.
All right, let's move to this next game. We got the Jacksonville Jaguars at the LA Chargers. Jacksonville, this game was interesting because it opened 7, got bet all the way down to 3.5. A lot of that was because there was uncertainty whether Herbert was going to play. Herbert does suit up. Jacksonville wins 38-10. The total was 45.5. The total goes over. So Jacksonville covers and the over hits. What's your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, I was surprised we saw Herbert in there. I was up to this morning. I thought we still had somebody tweet out that their coach said Herbert was not starting.
Yeah, no, he was
wasn't gonna get the
doubtful
call.
all the way up until kickoff.
Yeah. But T-Law looked good. The running game, I mean, James Robinson was outstanding today. And I think it was a great offensive effort against a banged up Chargers D. I mean, banged up Chargers offense. I just don't understand why you play Herbert.
Yeah.
With those ribs, give him the week off.
And then he loses his left tackle in the middle of the game too.
Yeah.
And he already doesn't have his starting right tackle, so you're missing both tackles.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, dude, this could get ugly for the Chargers for the simple fact that like they're super banged up, dude. And then Joey Bosa goes out, doesn't come back in.
Yeah, Bosa injury.
Another one. This is a team that is like going down right now. They're 1-2. They have a ton of injuries, including their quarterback who has like, what is it, fractured rib cartilage or something?
Yeah, I've never even heard of that before.
I mean, it's incredible, dude. And like the Chargers just have some of the worst luck in the world.
Yeah.
But Jacksonville, on the other hand, like, dude, they look good.
They offensively looked really good.
Defensively, they look great too. All year, they have the number 1 defense right now.
Yeah.
They lead the league in turnovers. They are playing
today.
They are playing very well. They have 8 turnovers in 3 games now.
Yeah, and really held the Chargers to 26 rushing yards.
This is
286 yards. So total yards was 312.
Yep. This is a good team. This is a good team, Ben.
16 first downs alone. Yeah.
The Chargers are going to win this division. I'm calling it right now.
Jaguars, yeah.
I mean the Jaguars. The Jaguars are going to win this division. I'm absolutely calling it.
The Jaguars are going to win this division.
The AFC South.
I don't know if I can say that.
They're going to.
Let's see. I want to see strength of schedule going forward before I can say that that's going to happen. Oh, come on.
I mean, they play AFC South teams twice.
Well, yeah, but so you got Jacksonville, play the Chiefs, Ravens, Colts. We already have 1 win against the Colts. The Colts play. Colts have an easier schedule. I don't know. Colts have an easier schedule.
They've already beat the Colts once. I like the Jaguars to win this division.
Yeah. That's going to be a tight one, but I'd probably put Jacksonville at least at the worst getting a wild card spot.
Yep. All right, let's move to this next dog shit game. We had the Rams at the Cardinals. The Rams closed -3.5. They cover. They win. The total was 48.5. The total goes way under. I mean, dude, Arizona got to fire Cliff Kingsbury. Like, he's got to go. Vance Joseph has to go. I mean, this was a totally winnable game, dude. It really was. This team is so poorly coached, dude. It's just, it's incredible.
So many options offensively, and AJ Green, no catches today.
Well, AJ Green got hurt.
Oh, did he? Okay.
Yeah, he got hurt in like the first quarter.
2 targets, no catches. Isabella, 2 targets.
Well, to be fair, AJ Green dropped a ball. Like a lot. They had 7 drops. The wide receivers did. They had a lot of drops, which killed a lot of momentum. There was times where they were. The biggest thing is that this is 3 weeks in a row now where the Cardinals get off to a very slow start. They have 0 first quarter points in the entire season, and they've given up the most points in the first quarter. So they're playing from behind so quickly all the time. Like in this game, it was 13-0 before you knew it, and the Cardinals are playing catch up. So they keep having to throw the ball, and There's just no creativity with the offense. It's really vanilla. I mean, dude, you have one of the most dynamic athletes at quarterback, and like you don't even utilize his athleticism. You just have him sitting back there, almost getting his head taken off because the offensive line fucking stinks.
Yep.
I mean, it's such a poorly coached team, dude.
Yeah.
It's amazing to me that Cliff Kingsbury still has a job, dude.
Yeah.
And I thought after the win at Las Vegas last week, I was like, man, like that's a win that gets the locker room going. Like that gets people fired up. That gets people juiced. Like they're gonna head in next week and they're gonna look good. No, dude, it was the same fucking things with the Rams, bro.
Done. Yep.
Vance
4
Joseph,
field goals.
dude. Vance Joseph defenses, bro. The Rams literally could throw a tight end screen every play, and they would probably fucking win the game 40-0.
Yeah.
Like the Cardinals couldn't stop it. It was, I mean, it's just they got to get Steve Keim got to go, Cliff Kingsbury has to go, Vance Joseph has to go. Get rid of all them motherfuckers, please, tomorrow, and bring in Sean Payton. Just do it.
There we go.
What was your thoughts? I still don't like the Rams, dude. I still don't think they're that good.
Yeah.
They didn't look that good in this game. The Cardinals just looked like shit.
I'm surprised they got 2 rushing touchdowns here. Cooper Kupp with the rushing touchdown, huh?
Dude, I'm telling you, jet sweeps and screen passes. The Cardinals cannot defend them.
Yeah.
Ugly.
I didn't watch this game. Not gonna lie. But when your team's winning 20-12 and putting up only 15 first downs, not good. Not good at all.
The Rams could barely do anything in the second half.
Yeah. And
then the one time the Cardinals need to stop the fucking Rams, they get a touchdown.
Yeah. That's
just how it goes. All right, let's move into this next game. This was actually a really entertaining game. The Atlanta Falcons at the Seattle Seahawks. The Seahawks closed -1. Seattle wins outright. They cover. The total was 44. The total goes over. I told Irvin earlier this week, man, Atlanta's the best of the worst teams.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense. So of like all the bottom feeder teams, like I think Atlanta's going to be that team like Detroit was last year, where they're going to cover. They're going to ATS. They're going to be like 11-6 on the year.
Yeah.
But they'll be like 5-12 straight up. They're gonna give people a hard time, and then games like this where they play other shitty teams, they're gonna win.
Yeah.
And they did it. And they finally got the ball to Kyle Pitts.
Finally got the ball to Kyle Pitts. I like what Drake London's doing. The kid's gonna be good.
Yep.
I think they need a better QB than Mariota in there.
Mariota's not the QB of the future.
Yeah. And this offense can be good. They need to revamp that whole defense. I know you're talking about, was it AJ Terrell?
He's nice.
Yeah, but you got to build off that, and they'll be there in what, 2 years?
Probably like 2. Depends on who they draft.
Yeah.
I mean, do they draft a quarterback depending on who they like?
That's the bad part of being the best of the shitty teams, is that you get the 10th pick instead of, or the 6 through 10 instead of the top 5.
Well, they also drafted Desmond Ritter, and Desmond Ritter, honestly, he looked good in the preseason.
Yeah.
So maybe
about Ritter.
Maybe he gets an opportunity to play some this year, and you see what you have, and maybe he's good enough, and that's your quarterback of the future, and you have a top 5 pick, and you can Desmond Ritter's your quarterback, and you can go spend elsewhere, dude. You can get offensive line or defensive line. That's probably what they're hoping for.
Yeah.
Does that happen? Who knows? We got to see Desmond Ritter, but I mean, Mariota's playing well enough right now where they're not going to bench him for Ritter yet. So it's like, at some point, it's like, when do they make that switch? Because like right now, they could very well be 2-1, and I mean, they played the Rams tough too.
Yep.
They covered against the Rams. So I think that's the thing with the Falcons, is like, I don't think we're gonna know about them really, or what they're gonna do next year. I don't know. They're a good bad team, dude.
Yeah. Yep.
It's crazy.
Agreed.
It's crazy. All right, what's your biggest takeaways from this week? Like, what's your give me three.
We got Thursday game, so we got one more
you
game.
really want to talk about that game?
Yeah,
All
I mean
right.
no, but
Pittsburgh at Cleveland. Cleveland closes -4.5. They cover outright, win 29-17. Over under, the total was 38, goes over. This was a fucking shit show again.
Yeah.
My only advice to people is do not bet on Browns games because you have zero idea of how they're going to turn out.
Yep.
Because, dude, this was a bizarre game. First of all, the Pittsburgh Steelers are losing by 9 points with under 2 minutes to go. They have a 4th down, and Mike Tomlin kicks a field goal. Then there was an offsides penalty, so it's 4th and 1. Instead of going for it on 4th and 1, he decides to kick a field goal, even though you need a touchdown regardless.
Yeah.
And you have an easier time of getting a touchdown when you're already, in the red zone right then and there, and you have 4th and 1, rather than kicking a field goal there and having to recover an onside kick. Plus, you don't have any timeouts.
Yeah.
So the under gets killed right then and there. Then Pittsburgh does get the ball back, down 6, and they fucking try a hook and lateral, and Cleveland scores a fucking touchdown on it.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, just the most bizarre ending to a game I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah. Yeah, and I hear all you Pittsburgh fans put Pickett in. But you got to think, other than next week, you've got a tough 3 games coming up with the Bills, Bucks, and Dolphins. You don't want to hang Pickett out to dry like that. Once they get past that, I think you can start up putting him in. I mean, you got Eagles, another tough defense, Saints, another tough defense, Bengals, Colts. Bengals defense, Colts, another tough defense. It's going to be, and then 2 against the Ravens at the end of the year too. Like that's going to be a tough time to put Pickett in there to get his first starts going up against all these tough defenses here.
Yep. No, I mean, I'm with you, dude. Like, and the Pittsburgh offensive line sucks.
Yeah.
So it's like you throw a rookie back there to just get his fucking head taken off, dude. Like, I don't know if that's the best idea, but I also do understand the other side of it, which is like you spend a 1st round draft pick on the kid. You need to know what you have on him, especially in a quarterback heavy class. Because what if Pittsburgh's drafting in the top 10 picks, right?
Yep.
So I do think that at some point they do have to make the switch because I don't think Mitchell Trubisky's the answer. Clearly, he's not.
Oh no, he's definitely not the answer.
So I mean, at some point they're gonna have to make the move. It's a matter of when.
Yep.
Maybe the Jets game is the best time to do that. Plus they have a extended time to get him prepared because they had a Thursday night game. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. That's why I'm not Mike Tomlin.
Yep.
But I can tell you one thing is that I can definitely manage a game better than Mike Tomlin. Dude, all I was telling Irving the whole time, I was like, bro, this guy if he does, most teams have they have what's it called, analytic guys like to tell him like, hey, this is like the odds of what's gonna happen here. Dude, I was like, he needs one next to him at all times, dude. Because that was a stupid fucking idea to kick the field goal there when he needed a touchdown.
Yep.
Made no fucking sense.
So before we get on to this Monday night game, to go back to your question earlier, big thing for my takeaway this week, Jacksonville Jaguars 2-0 in the conference, 1-0 in their division. Miami 3-0 in the conference, 2-0 in the division. Minnesota 2-0 in their division. It's like those division games are the big ones that you have to win. And, you see these teams starting to kind of, take that step into being at the top of their division. Do I think all 3 of those will be at the top of their division? No. But that can put them into wildcard positions that they really need to get there. So like what Miami, what Jacksonville, and what Minnesota is doing to set them up for success. Maybe not success in winning their division, but getting over the hump into a wild card spot, which is going to be tough in the AFC. Yeah. NFC not as hard, but AFC it's going to be difficult.
Yeah, no, one of my biggest takeaways of this week is that Jacksonville's for real.
Yeah,
they have a dynamic defense, dude. Because, I mean, like, let's be real. They were bad for so long that you have to have a lot of talent because you're getting high draft picks, right?
High picks, yeah.
Doug Peterson is a great coach. He's won a Super Bowl. You know what I mean? I think he's a very underrated coach. And for a guy that's won a Super Bowl to be underrated is, you know, that tells you things. And then it also shows us how shitty Urban Meyer was.
Yeah. Sorry, not Tennessee. Jacksonville, plus 46 in point differential.
Yeah, dude. They're for real, bro. They're for real. They are for real. And they're going to be a problem, dude. And if Trevor Lawrence continues to progress, I mean, the sky's the limit for that team, dude, because he has only looked better and better each week so far. So I'm very intrigued by the Jacksonville Jaguars moving forward. 3-0 against the spread, too. So it's a good team right there, Ben. But let's hop into this Monday night game.
Let's take a break.
Okay.
And then we'll do Monday night and then come back into baseball because I'm all out of beer.
All right, me too. All right, good point. All right, so we're gonna take a break real quick, and then we'll hop back in here, and we'll do Monday night, and then we'll do a little baseball, and then we'll get out of here. Appreciate y'all. Hang out for a second. We will be right back. All right. We are back, but Ben just left. I don't know where Ben just went. We'll get Ben back. Oh, here he comes. Here he comes. Here he comes.
Right as I come back, I see this is a milk sugar beer. So,
yep.
Gotta
Nice.
gotta get the pills to go with it.
Nice.
How it goes. So,
Hell yeah, man.
so it's time to get back into beers for our for the second half of the show.
Yes,
I
sir.
messed up. I'm really excited about this beer, but I messed up because it has milk sugar in it. We'll see how it goes. Feel like crap tomorrow, but that's okay. I'm doing it for all y'all.
Hey, there we go.
So let's start with yours.
Oh, dude, I got a good one. I'm drinking an Evil Twin.
Ooh.
It's called Infructus Varitos Duo.
Okay.
It's a sour ale brewed with raspberry, cherry, plum, vanilla, and cinnamon.
Ooh.
So, me and Evil Twin, dude. Look at this right here, Ben.
Oh my god, that looks incredible.
Smells delicious. You get the cinnamon notes like right away.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's tasty. Oh, that's a good one right there. Oh my gosh. Let's go. Let's go.
Let's go, y'all.
What are you sipping on?
All right, so I got a special kind of dessert beer for today. So this is an Imperial Golden Ale with toasted coconut, vanilla beans, and natural flavors. I guess some of those natural flavors are milk sugar. I looked at that. I'm like, oh, I'm good to go. But this is the Speculous Cookie Butter Beer. So I don't know if y'all have been to Trader Joe's and you've gotten the Speculous Cookie Butter. Oh my God, it's incredible. Probably is the way that I look like I do. But this is a 9.5% coming in from Hardywood Park out of Richmond, Virginia. So an East Coast beer. 9.5. It's a heavy one. So we'll definitely see. But vanilla beans, sugar, milk sugar, toasted caramel. It's a beer that you drink with dessert, especially at that 9.5%. You probably aren't going to have more than one of these, but some people are crazy.
Ooh. Nice, dude. I'm looking forward to that one. To that one. Sorry, I was just reading over the injury report for tomorrow, and the fucking Giants have like a fucking novel of guys on the injury report.
Yep.
But they're basically all probable. Leonard Williams doubtful though. Whew.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, this is gonna be it's gonna be an interesting Monday night game. So let's hop into this Monday night game, Vince. We got the Dallas Cowboys heading in to face the New York Giants at home. This game right now is -1 for Dallas, basically a pick 'em. The total is 39.5. Obviously, you could shop around and probably get different numbers depending on who you like in this game. But man, what's your thoughts on this game here? This is both these teams first 2-0 or Giants are 2-0 against the spread. Dallas 1-1. Both of them are 0-2 on the total. So they both their games have gone under.
Yeah. And this is a tough read because Dallas has played a lot harder in teams in Cincinnati and Tampa Bay when you got the Giants who have played Tennessee and Carolina coming through here. So it's a little bit tough. I see the Cowboys going up against a more dynamic more dynamic offense and only allowing 18 points per game. New York is only allowing 18 points as well. But they have been able to put up more points on teams that don't have as good of defenses in Tennessee and Carolina. So, I mean, I think a pick 'em, -1 is, right where it should be. I'm going to lean Dallas here. But I don't like it. I'm not going to bet this game.
Yeah, dude, I'm not betting a side on this game. That's for damn sure. Because I mean, I think you made a lot of great points in the fact that like Dallas has played much better teams than the Giants have.
Yeah,
and both these teams have good defenses though.
Yeah,
like Dallas's defense is legit. Micah
Dallas is
Parsons
even
might be the
scary.
Defensive Player of the Year,
Yeah,
right? And the New York
He's-
Giants have a good defense.
he is questionable, and which means he's going to play. But to what?
Well, he's
to what effect
questionable
is
with
he
an
gonna-
illness. It's not like he's
Yeah, but is that going to cause a lot of a lot of problems with him? Is he going to have to take every other, snap? Is he going to have to?
he'll be in there. I think the biggest thing is that Dallas still has a banged up O line. And then the Giants are also getting Kayvon Thibodeau out.
Mhm.
I mean, they're getting him back,
He's questionable. Yeah.
but he'll play.
Yeah.
So he should be out there. That's going to be a huge thing because if he can get going, this could be hell for Cooper Rush. Plus, Dallas has Cooper Rush back there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not like they got Dak back there. I mean, not that Dak's look that much better, but
He's better than Cooper Rush.
but then the Giants, dude, they're gonna be missing Kadarius Toney and Robinson.
Yep.
Wendell Robinson. So I mean, they're gonna be missing basically both their starting wide receivers. Obviously they'll have Kenny Golladay out there, but he's looked like a shell of himself lately.
Yep.
So I mean, this could be an interesting
under
game.
here.
Oh yeah, dude. I think the under is the only play here. Under 39.
Under 39. Yeah.
I'm gonna talk about this more when we get to our best bets, but I do think that is the only play here. Like I don't trust either one of these sides. I would probably lean the Giants, but with all the injuries, I'm just not I'm not confident in that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm with you, man. I think the under is the play here, dude.
Yeah.
I do think that's the play. Right now the under is getting so 59% or 56% of tickets are on the over, but the under is getting 50% of the money. So a lot of people on the under here. Well, money wise.
Yeah.
The spread, New York Giants are getting 56% of the tickets, 60% of the money. The Dallas Cowboys getting 44% of the tickets, 40% of the money. So this one should be interesting. I'm not like the Giants are 2-0, but they're like an ugly ass 2-0, dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and that win against the Titans, like the Titans look like shit.
Yeah. Week 1.
I know they
really put
beat
too
the
much in there.
Raiders, but they don't look great by any stretch of the imagination. And then that win against Carolina, I mean, dude, that was an ugly ass game, dude.
Yeah.
That was a terrible, terrible game.
And Carolina's not looking.
They only won 19-16. Yeah, Carolina's offense, man. Baker Mayfield still has the same issues, dude.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, no, I'm with you. I think I like the under here. All right, let's talk about some baseball because we got 2 weeks left in the regular season. We're really coming down here to the wire. We've had some important things going on in baseball. So, Pujols hits his 700th home run.
Yep.
And
huge.
then Aaron Judge is on pace for 62. On Saturday, they're cutting out of fucking college football games to watch Aaron Judge's at bats, dude. And I'm sitting there and I'm just like, bro, I could care less if he is 62. What does 62 even mean, dude? I've seen Bonds hit 73. He ain't gonna get close to 73.
Yeah. But it's big for AL teams. I mean, you don't usually see the boppers in the AL, and that's definitely so that's a first. I mean, we're sitting here that 61 hasn't been hit and since what was it? Yeah, but 61,
Yeah.
61 and 61, right? So like it's been a long time since we've had anyone in the AL get close to those numbers, and
I don't care.
for it to be another Yankee, I think is pretty cool. But I mean, I think we care about 62. I don't think it's the end of the world. I think because it's a Yankee, we're seeing.
I think it's more impressive if Judge gets a triple crown than 62.
Well, he's looking like he's gonna get the triple crown. So
Yeah, he's on pace right now.
yeah.
So
So
I mean, 62 isn't like it's not a historical milestone at this point. But
it is for New York. It is for the AL.
no, it is for these baseball writers that are trying desperately to fucking block Bonds out of the history books.
Well, that's true. Yeah.
Like they want to so desperately make 73 not matter.
Yeah.
And that's what this is really all about, because you're hearing all these people come out, you know, baseball writers from the Baseball Hall of Fame, and they're like, well, you know, 73 is not the real record because it's tainted. It's like, bro, come on, man. Steroids don't help you hit a baseball, dude.
Innocent till proven guilty.
That too. And, you know, everybody was taking steroids. And now there's like legal steroids that aren't on the ban list that you could take. So, you know, science has evolved. I mean, it's just different time, dude. And I just feel like this whole thing is getting blown out of proportion because a lot of people in higher up places want this to happen so that they can like finally say Bonds is not the true home run leader.
Yeah, he's still 11 away. Well, 12 at this point. What do you think about Pujols to 700?
I mean, I thought it was dope. I thought it was cool that he hit 2 in the same night. I thought, you know, that he did it in LA, and then he came out in the press conference and he said, you know, I'm glad I did it here in LA because playing for the Dodgers kind of brought baseball back to being fun for me, and it was something that, you know, he really appreciated from the Dodgers. So I thought it was cool that he did it in Dodger Stadium. I thought that was awesome. And then I forget who it was, dude. I think it was Max Muncy. He was like, he even said before the series, he said, I hope that I get to see Albert Pujols break the record while he's here in LA. When he said that, I was like, oh, they're going to serve him fastballs, dude, just so he can fucking break it.
Well, to be honest, I'm glad somebody did, because if he stopped at 699, he's already mentioned that he hasn't played. He isn't going to play next year. He isn't going to sign anywhere. You know, this is it. And if he got caught at 699, like that would have just been
brutal, dude.
Yeah, so shitty to not get that number. So
yeah, I'm glad he got it, dude. That was awesome to see. But another steroid user that in the 700 club, they acted like that didn't exist. But you know, it is what it is. But no, congratulations to Albert Pujols. You know, we've now seen 2 guys hit into the 700 club in our lifetime, which is pretty spectacular. So
incredible. Yeah.
You know, there probably won't ever be anyone else to get into 700 club.
Yep.
I'd be shocked. I mean, never say never.
So I'm going to take a quick break here because I have to announce my new beer.
I was going to say, what happened to the other one, dude?
This shit's gross, bro. It's going to be a pour out.
Oh, no.
It is not good. Not only the alcohol percentage at 9.2 is very evident at that 9.2, but it's too sweet. It smells a hell of a lot better than it tastes. It's leaves a horrible film in your mouth. It's not good. And it was funny because
that is one big pile of shit.
It is one big pile of shit. When I bought this beer, I asked the guy at Trader Joe's, like, oh, have you tried it? And he's like, oh, everybody buys this beer, but I've never seen somebody buy it twice. And then it's just like, that makes complete sense now. And, you know, it's not good. I'm glad I just bought a single instead of a 4-pack. Because I would be pouring out.
What's the brewing company on it?
Hardywood Park Craft Brewery out of Richmond, Virginia.
Interesting. Nice.
Yeah. No bueno. So we are going to go with Ninkasi Brewing Company. This is one that I've had a couple times. This has been kind of a go-to for the last couple weeks. This is called Tricera hops. It's a double IPA, and it's coming in at 8%. So Ninkasi is a great brewery out of Eugene, Oregon. If you're ever up there, make sure to check out Ninkasi. They have some really good beers, and they distribute all of the West Coast. So make sure to check them out if you see them at your local shop.
Nice, dude. Back to Pujols real quick. I did want to say I thought it was awesome that he hit 700 on Apple TV when no one has it.
Oh shit. True. Very true. And 2 on the same day, 699 and 700.
Yeah. No, that was
like
cool.
You said, served up in LA.
Yeah, now he can just coast for the rest of the year, and he can go, just cruise into retirement, dude. So very happy for him.
I love the memes of Dave Roberts when he he has forgot that Pujols is on the other team now. You see him laughing, you see him smiling, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh shit. Like,
I mean, the Dodgers have already clinched, dude. They're not even playing their everyday lineup every day, so it's like, I think it was cool because Pujols did say, like, when he went to go grab your beer, I was talking about it. I was saying that it was awesome because Pujols said in the press conference that being a Dodger last year really brought joy back to baseball for him. So he was really happy to hit his 700th home run in Dodger Stadium. I thought that was awesome, dude. Like, yeah. It's also funny because no one likes playing for the Angels. I need to get the soundbite like the doo-doo-doo.
Yeah. What is it, the rim?
Yeah.
Rim shot?
Yeah. Before we get into our top 5 teams, I did also want to talk about this because the Mariners been slumping. Pretty bad, dude. And it came to a head today, 13-11, which is actually more points scored than the Sunday Night Football game.
Yeah.
But they had a 9-run lead in the top of the 6th inning, and they blew a 9-run lead in 1/2 of an inning, Ben.
To who? The Kansas City Royals.
Well, let's not sleep on the Royals. The Royals are gonna be good. They're very young. They're going to be good. But this is a team now. I mean, they dropped 2 of 3 to the A's. They dropped 2 of 3 to the Royals, and they're still fighting for a wild card. I mean, Baltimore hasn't taken advantage of it, but Baltimore is also playing the fucking Astros.
Yeah. They still swept. They split the series with the Astros 2-2. Not bad.
Yeah, but I mean, they could have gotten a leg up. I mean, at this point, there is a very real possibility that the Mariners could Mariner this thing.
Yeah, there's 10 games left and they're 4 games up. So it's a very small chance, but it's doable.
Dude, the way they're playing, Julio's hurt.
Yeah. He doesn't. I don't think it's a major injury, though. But I mean, with the teams that they're playing left here in September and then into October, you've got a 3-game set against the Rangers. You've got 3 against the
They just lost
A's.
2 series in a row to the A's and the Royals.
I know. But I think that's part of the problem is they need to really look up and wake themselves up and see, yes, these aren't good teams. We can't just look over them, because I think that's what they've been doing here. In their last 10. At least these last 2 series.
Well, and their starting pitching's been mid.
Yep, they've got 4 against the Tigers, 3 against Oakland, 3 against Texas. So they don't have a hard schedule. I think they need to build on that, and I think they need to hit the ground running.
But those teams like Oakland and Texas, especially because they're division rivals, they're going to want to beat the Mariners to hold them out of the playoffs, dude.
Yeah, well, absolutely.
Because that's all they're really playing for. And that's why these teams that are out of the playoff race are like dangerous right now. Because absolutely. A, they got guys that are fighting for roster spots.
Yep.
And B, they want to be the team to like stop another team from getting in the playoffs. So
yeah. And Texas has a lot of young guys that are gonna be good. Texas has the payroll that they don't have to, rotate their players every year like the A's do. I think you can probably say
maybe the Rangers should, though.
Yeah, that's probably true. And Tigers, they have a lot of young guys that have potential. I don't see the Tigers getting good in the next couple of years either, though.
Bro, it's crazy because I thought the Tigers would be good this year, but also Casey Myers gets hurt. Tariq Skubal's been hurt.
Torque hasn't been doing anything.
And then Torkelson, he got hurt. Yeah. He was out for a while. And then obviously they signed Javi Baez, and that was a fucking terrible decision, dude.
Huge mistake, yeah.
Now they gotta fucking eat that shit.
Yep.
So yeah, I kind of think like the Tigers, they took a step forward and then they're taking 2 steps back.
Yeah.
So that kind of sucks, but man, I mean, dude, once we get to the end of the season, we can kind of talk more about like where a lot of these teams are, because I have an opinion on a lot of these teams about where they're going. But
should we do like a debrief after the playoffs?
Yeah, we could do it after the playoffs.
Probably like a whole episode.
After the regular season.
Supplement episode.
We can do it after the regular season and do like a playoff preview slash look ahead for some teams. Yeah. Because I do think, especially the AL Central, like I said, dude, the Kansas City Royals and the and this was supposed to be a rebuilding year for the Guardians, dude, and they win the division.
Yeah.
And these are both two clubs that have a lot of young talent, dude.
Yeah.
And I think it's bad for the White Sox, too. I mean, dude, we could spend a whole episode on the White Sox, bro. Yeah. We really could, dude. I mean, that shit that's a shit show, dude.
Somehow La Russa didn't get fired.
They're doing it the nice way, I feel like, by saying like his doctors want him to stay home and shit. But I don't think I don't think all the problems are because of him.
No.
You know? I just think that team has a lot of issues, dude.
He is a major problem though.
Yeah, he's one of the problems.
Yeah.
All right, let's do our top 5 teams of the week, Ben. So we got 2 weeks left. These top 5 teams are, you know, this is how we're like really projecting teams now as we're like looking ahead in the playoffs. Because if you follow me on Twitter, I've been waiting. I'm counting down the days till I get to fucking bet against the Yankees in the playoffs because they will lose their first series. But what's your top 5 teams look like, Ben?
Let's do there. All right, so speaking of the Yankees, I have them back in my top 5 at number 5, 8-2 in their last 10, 6-0 this week, 7-game winning streak. I can't not put them back into number 5. You know, they actually play real teams this week though, so we'll see if they drop out again, and we will, you know, we'll see what happens next week. Number 4, I'm going to go the other New York team, the Mets, 8-2 in their last 10, 4-2 this week. Big series win against the Brewers. I think that was something that kind of kept them in this area. I'm still waiting on, you know, the Mets to have this huge downfall, and I see that it could be that first week of the playoffs, where both New York teams are out for a series. So we'll see how that goes.
Hey,
number 3, I'm going to go with
good, man.
I can't hear you with the music in the background, so I don't know why.
Keep
Plays
going.
Really loud.
Keep going.
Number 3, I'm going to go with the Atlanta Braves. 7-3 in their last 10, 4-3 this last week. I do have them above the Mets. I think that last series in the season is going to be absolutely huge. It starts, I think it's the 30th through the 2nd. So we'll see where that puts them there. Number 2, Houston. 5-2 this week, 7-3 in the last 10. Are we worried about splitting against Baltimore here? Because they shouldn't have lost against Baltimore, but they could have lost all 4 games there. Those 2 that they won were really close. One going in the 11th, one 10-11. So I don't know. Some teams come up big playing against Houston. That may be a problem in the playoffs here. And number 1, Dodgers, 106-47, 7-3 their last 10, 5-3 this week. A lot of games this week. They had that doubleheader and played every day. But number 1 offense, number 1 pitching in baseball, it's a wrap in the AL. I don't know if they're going to win the series, though.
For who? The Dodgers?
The World Series, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, winning the World Series is always a tough thing.
Yep.
To answer the Astros thing, I mean, the Astros have clinched, dude, so I don't think they're not playing for anything right now.
Yeah.
And the Orioles are a good team.
Mm-hmm.
Like, let's not forget about that. That's a good team. But what I was saying, and you couldn't hear me, was that DeGrom has not looked good.
Oh, no, he has not at all.
He started against the A's. He gave up 5 earned runs to the fucking Oakland A's, dude.
Yeah.
Not good. All right, let me do my top 5 teams here. So I got the Guardians, number 5, making an appearance for the first time this season. The Cleveland Guardians, hottest team in baseball right now, without a doubt. They have great starting pitching, an elite bullpen, arguably the best bullpen in baseball, and they got Jose Ramirez, so they got timely hitting, and they actually have a underrated lineup. Number 4, we're going with the Atlanta Braves. Number 3, the New York Mets. Number 2, the Houston Astros, and number 1, the Dodgers. Very similar to you. Our only difference is Yankees, Guardians. I'm just not sold on the Yankees, dude. I just don't think they're a good team, bro. And they got lucky at the right time. Or I shouldn't say they got lucky, but their schedule turned a corner for them at the right time, where they got like the Pirates at home and the fucking dog shit Red Sox. Like they've had bad teams after bad teams, which has allowed them to kind of get into a groove. I don't think this is a team built for the playoffs. So,
agreed.
I don't think of all the teams in the AL playoffs right now, I don't think they would beat any of those teams in a series. I don't think they would beat the Mariners. I don't think they would beat the Blue Jays. I definitely don't think they'd beat the Rays, because the Rays usually own them. And I don't think they beat the Astros. They're not a good team, dude.
Yeah.
Top to bottom, they're just not a good team.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's go, y'all.
Let's get some best bets for tomorrow, Ben.
All right, so I've got two. I'm going to let you talk about one of them because I know you've got the same one here. So I'm just going to fly by this one. We got the Cowboys and Giants. We're going to go the under on this one. I just think there's too many issues offensively on both teams to have them put up a lot of points. And defensively, they are two strong teams. Only allowing 325, 326 yards between the two of them, 18 points apiece. So I think we can go under that 39.5. The game that I am going to be really looking at is going to be tomorrow. There's only 5 games in baseball, but I do like this Atlanta Braves, Washington Nationals. I'm seeing a couple places that we have pitchers up and we don't have pitchers up. But what I am seeing is that we're going to have Bryce Elder going for the Braves, going against Corey Abbott. Both two pitchers who have under 40 innings pitched this year. So we're probably going to be hitting the over here, but that's not the bet that I'm going to go. I'm going to go with the Braves minus run and a half. I'd even take first 5 minus a half a run, but we're going to go full game minus a run and a half. Offensively, the Braves team has so much more firepower. They're hitting about 5 points better in average, which isn't too impressive, but it's over 170 more runs per game, 170 more runs over the season, over 95 more home runs this year that the Braves have than the Washington Nationals. Slugging percentage, 60 points higher for the Braves. OPP's higher. ERA, on the pitching side, WHIP pitching side, so much better for the Atlanta Braves team. They just played. Atlanta won 2 of the 3 games in the series here. I think we're going to see an Atlanta Braves team really bump out. I really like the over here, and I really like the minus 1.5.
All right. My 2 best bets, I'm going under 39.5 with the Giants and the Cowboys. This is just 2 bad offenses, 2 good defenses going head-to-head. I have this total at 18-17, which I don't think is going to be the final score, but I'm saying that's about where I have this game projected at, which is going to be under and the team winning by -1, which is right where it's at. And then my second best bet is going to be the Baltimore Orioles money line against the Red Sox. We got Jordan Lyles going against Corey Seawald. Seawald is a 10.47 ERA this year. He's not good. And the Orioles, they've been slumping offensively, but they kind of brought out the bats a little bit against the Red Sox. Against the Astros. And this is every game right now is must win for the Baltimore Orioles. So
Agreed.
I'm expecting this team to come out and get this done tomorrow night. So at plus money, I like the Baltimore Orioles money line tomorrow. I think it's a good bet.
Yep, absolutely. One more thing I forgot to say about this Atlanta Washington team against right-handed pitchers. Atlanta 59-42, Washington 37-61.
Washington hasn't been good against anybody.
Ouch. Yep, against the spread at home, 30-44.
They did.
Ouch.
They did beat Elder earlier this week, though.
They did. They definitely did. 3-2. But I'm not worried. Not worried.
All right. Well, let's go.
All right. So it is time to end the sports aspect of the podcast, and go back to the beer aspect of the podcast. I was surprisingly disappointed in one of my beers, but I will get to that in a hot minute. We're going to hear about your beers because I'm really excited to hear about that Evil Twin.
Yeah, so the Evil Twin I'll do first since I'm drinking it right now. You can definitely, there's a lot of cinnamon notes in there. So while it is fruity, you do get that, cinnamon notes, the taste there. So it is a very interesting beer. I would definitely drink it again. I would buy it again. It's definitely not something that I would like sip on every night though. You know what I mean? I think it's a beer that I would like, you know, when I got people over, kind of pour a little bit out for everybody to try.
Yeah.
It is good though. I'm gonna give it a 4.25 out of 5. The Soul Crusher, this one by Skygazer Brewing Company, this one was very good. You could really taste like the plum in it. It wasn't like it was tarty, it was sour, but it wasn't like overwhelming with that sourness. It was like very easily drinkable and very tasty, dude. Would definitely drink it again. Would definitely buy it again. 4 or 5 out of 5.
Very nice.
Oh, yeah. So now you got to tell us about your story with this beer here. Well, I mean, you told us a little bit, but
I'm gonna start with. I'll start with that one. So the Speculous Cookie Butter Beer, which was the Imperial Golden Ale, toasted caramel vanilla bean, coming in at 9.5%. You can see how much I got through. It was not good. Mouthfeel was very. It left a film on your mouth. You know, that really kind of stuck with you as you were drinking it. The smell is great. It smells like a wonderful dessert beer. That's what I first, started with. I'd give the smell probably points here. Everything else, the 9.5 was way too high. It was just way too sweet, even for a dessert beer. I'm gonna give this one a 2.5. Definitely a pour up here for me. Might be a beer that somebody out there will like, but I'm not taking another sip of this one. Just not.
That is one big pile of shit.
Yep. The Smogtoberfest though, this one was really good. This was the Oktoberfest, coming from Smog City out of Terrence, California. This was a 5.5% Oktoberfest, the festival lager. This was really good. I'm gonna give this one a 4.25 out of 5. Great Oktoberfest. Crisp, malty. A good mouthfeel, good aroma. Definitely something I will go back and buy some more of. Huge fan of Oktoberfest, and sucks that they're only out for the fall.
So all those Oktoberfest beers, gotta get them now.
Exactly. I wish you could age beer better than the 2 months that it's worth. But all right, so that's the podcast. Make sure to check us out for the rest of the week. Tomorrow, we're going to have Jordan and Irvin coming out, and they're going to be talking about the Monday Night Football game, and then kind of looking forward to, what's happening tomorrow on Monday. I don't think you're going to start college football.
We'll be recapping the college football weekend.
Okay, there we go. And then I'll be back with Jordan on Wednesday, maybe Tuesday. With Irvin, on Tuesday, maybe with Irvin as well, to talk about week 4 of the NFL season. We'll be looking over at a couple of the games and giving our best bets for the week. And then Jordan and Irvin will be back on Wednesday to talk college football and look forward and what is happening, for the college football week. And we're going to start it all over again with Thursday Night Football. Going into Sunday. So definitely a good week ahead. Make sure to check out the podcast all week. Make sure to check out our socials. You can check us out on Instagram, on Twitter, here on YouTube. We're always putting things up. Make sure to like, follow, subscribe on all of them. Check us out individually. Jordan Rules TSP on Twitter. Sky's the limit for us. Thanks for showing up. We will see you guys tomorrow.
Yeah.